So, if your IEP meeting went really well, as a parent, do you need to send a recap letter to the IEP team? Let's talk about it on this episode of the Special Education Inner Circle podcast. I'm so excited to see all of the new Master IEP coaches who are parents, teachers, admins, and therapists. They're diving in this summer into their mentorship and they're asking a ton of questions. And that always gets me fired up. So, inside of our mentorship, we had somebody who is a parent. She's becoming a master IEP coach to help herself at the IEP table and to help her child's IEP team and bring some new ideas and be collaborative and bring, different strategies. And one of the things that we talk about all the time inside of the Master IEP Coach mentorship is writing effective collaborative advocacy letters from a parent perspective and from an educator perspective, because teachers, therapists, admins, you're advocating too, right? You're advocating for a lot of different things just as parents are. So having advocacy letters that are collaborative are really important. So inside the mentorship, I have a bunch of templates and different ideas and ways to craft these. They're my exact letters that I've been using for almost 30 years to help parents and teachers communicate and collaborate at a really high level to get big things inside of the IEP, really effective, impactful things. Okay, so a parent, she asked me this question. She says, the meeting went really, really well. They had sent a draft ahead of time. We had a couple of exchanges where the draft was edited. And I made sure that, the things that were really important to me were put into the IEP. Everything is worded great. The meeting is great. Everything was good. So in the process inside of the Master IEP Coach mentorship, there's a step of send the recap letter after the meeting. This is for the parents. And if parents aren't going to do it, I suggest that educators do this too. Send a recap letter that really highlights some things that you talked about and confirms that everybody's on the same page moving forward. And she's like, we are on the same page. So I really don't know if this letter is like overkill. And I said, no, please send the letter. Please send the letter, because having something documented, and this is more than just an email. This is an actual letter that's written in a PDF format. It's formatted in a very specific way to make sure that it becomes part of the child's file. It is collaborative. It is not a red flag kind of letter. It's not something to really bring up concerns. In this case, we can use it to bring up concerns, but in this case, this is a letter that needs to be written to make sure that the things that were your highest priority during this process that they're completed, and it's documented that they were completed. Because things happen in special education, like staff changes, staff shortages, just, programs change buildings, like things happen. So, making sure that you have this letter that has a very specific way that it is addressed. And then in the first paragraph, it's saying, thank you for, for the meeting. We are looking forward to the next steps. This has been a fantastic process to prepare my child for further education, employment, and independent living. I just want to confirm that I understand the following is going to be happening. And you can list out those 3 to 5 bullet points. Maybe it's about inclusion. Maybe it's about safety. Maybe it's about transportation. Maybe it's about curriculum. Whatever these things are that you as a parent that you've negotiated, or again, if you're an educator who is writing this to confirm, like, hey, just confirming with you, this is what's happening. And then when you close it out, you say, thank you again. And you say, if I've misunderstood anything, please let me know. In this way, if there was any miscommunication, even though you think things went well, and they may have been fantastic, maybe you missed a detail. Maybe something was promised and you thought it's going to happen on this day, but really it's going to happen on that day. Maybe, right? Maybe there's going to be an outside evaluation for assistive technology that's going to be done, and you assumed it was going to happen in August, but really it's not going to be done till September. There are things that when you go ahead and you recap, a lot of times you'll catch some of those miscommunications, and then you can have a collaborative conversation about those high priorities and get on the same page if for some reason there was a misunderstanding. So I want to encourage you that after an IEP meeting, even if it went really, really well, let's make sure that there's a follow-up recap. From a teacher standpoint, this could be an email. From a parent standpoint, I want it to be more of a formal letter to make sure it doesn't get lost in the sea of emails. But this one strategy can help prevent so much conflict when you just put it in writing. And again, if you want these templates, if you're like, you want to ask questions specific to your situations at the IEP table, I'm going to encourage you to go to masteriepcoach.com, go see when the next mentorship is starting, and I'll see you there.